Adios, amor, pues no de ti. Es más de siempre. Alright, let's get down to business.
Okay.
What's up, guys? I'm Gavin.
This is Bryan.
And this is the Brocast, episode number 2.
Yes, sir.
So
it might look different because we're using a different camera. We're just testing out.
we're just
stuff.
trying. We're just trying out new things.
Yeah.
You know. We took out the Nutella. Put in the
I think
blankets.
there's a soda can over there too.
Took out the soda can. Yeah,
There's
we're
like
trying new
a whole
things.
bunch of stuff right here too.
Oh,
I had Italy, and
You in Italy?
I was just at Summit too.
Yeah.
I hadn't shaved
We
either.
just-
I shaved for this.
We decided to
Not-
wear
not
different
really.
clothing and
Not really. But
put different things on the desk. So,
yeah, sure.
so what are we gonna talk about today, Brian?
So like last episode, we kind of didn't. We were gonna talk about ourselves and just kind of introduce ourselves, really, but we didn't really do that. So, cause of the camera, like cut it off and all that. So
So I'm using my phone now.
yeah, we're using, yeah. But yeah.
Don't put it right here. Put it so it's like off to the side like this. So you're not blocked. And then scoot closer to me.
That's
That's
why I put it more over there, but yeah. And I don't want you to see like my stuff. That's why.
Oh, you don't want me to see it?
No.
Oh, okay. Put it away.
No,
then.
that looks
Put it
better.
away
That,
then.
that looks better though.
I was gonna say.
I was gonna-
I think it looks better like this. Looks more official.
But then also, yeah, it looks better on there.
Yeah.
But we have to go like this and then
Well, that doesn't
turn
matter.
like this and then
That
turn
doesn't
like.
I
turn like-
don't think that matters.
I think that matters.
I
But
think it doesn't.
we're gonna do this like this for this episode.
So, oh my gosh, is that what we're talking about today? Yeah, yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite.
I have some tabs open here too.
Okay, cool.
Just in case, but
Sweet. Yeah.
yeah. So I wanted to. I don't know. Just this is something recent that happened. The picture of the black hole.
Yeah, the black hole.
Yeah, I'll probably put a picture like right there.
So we have. Oh.
I'll probably put it.
Okay.
I'll put it in.
So we both have physics, AP physics. We had physics last year. We talked about this last time. We're probably going to talk about physics every single episode because we love physics so much.
Physics isn't everywhere, honestly.
It's everything.
Like right now,
Physics.
we're sitting down here because
Do you realize that
gravity? Gravity?
We're being held down by the Earth,
We are.
and we're going like hundreds of miles per hour around
We are.
in a circle,
Uh-huh.
but we don't feel it.
We don't.
And we are
And we're revolving around the sun, going at that 100 miles per
even,
hour. And then the
even
sun.
faster.
Hold up. And then the sun, the solar system, is revolving around the black hole.
Yes.
At an even faster rate, but we don't feel
Yes.
it. That's crazy.
And so
Physics.
our physics teacher on special days will talk about black holes. And so
Shout
whenever
out
he
Mr.
talks,
Fowler.
whenever he talks about black holes, we get so excited.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think? Explain. Okay,
Okay.
a lot of people don't really know about black holes. 'Cause I didn't. When he was explaining, I didn't really know.
Oh, okay, so I took notes in my notebook when he was. You weren't there for that day either.
I
So.
skipped that too.
Yeah, but so basically a black hole is like, it's like, so when stars like explode, right?
Mhm.
And just as a like background information, everything has gravity, and then gravity attracts toward each other. So like
no matter what. So
No
like
matter
even
what.
even like this.
you and me.
Even this cup with a pear in it, even this jar with a pear in it, it has gravity. It even though it's like really really small, everything has
Oh
gravity.
my God.
So technically, everything has an attraction to it. It's just because it's so small,
The mass of it.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So technically, if Bryan was the size of a planet, he would have.
Or not just the size of it. If I had the mass of it.
Okay, yeah, the mass of a planet,
Yeah.
then people would be attracted to him. So technically, if I hold, no one's attracted to you. So technically, if I hold my hand
That's
right
why I
here,
don't have a problem with it. Okay.
Find Bryan a prom date.
Okay. Just go.
I do have a prom date. So if I hold my hand like right here, technically my hand's being attracted to Bryan, like my whole body is being attracted because we both have attractions to each other, but but because we're so small, we don't feel anything, so we don't move.
So that's why the Earth. That's why we're hold on down to the Earth, because the Earth has this huge weight. Well, not weight because it's mass.
Yeah, it's
but
mass.
yeah.
It's not the same thing.
But yeah, just because Earth has this huge mass that its gravity it overlaps the gravity of like us basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then so a black hole has like 10 times the mass of the sun. And then also like it proves that because for something to escape, so like there's this thing called escape velocity, and then that's like basically the speed you need to escape like a solar system. So to escape anything that's gravitational, so like to escape the sun you need a certain escape speed, escape velocity, and then
just how like when astronauts go to the moon, they have to go a certain speed because they have to get out of Earth's gravitation. Well, technically you never escape its gravitation, but you have to get out of the field where it's strongest.
Yeah. So yeah, you have to escape that field to get into another field, and that's the escape speed.
Yeah.
And then for a black hole, the escape speed for that is greater than the speed of light. So that's why light can't. Well, that's why nothing can travel out of a black hole. Once you're in that radius close enough to the black hole, then it's like you can't escape from it.
Yeah.
Because you have to go faster than the speed of light.
Because the gravitation
because of
is
the gravitational
so
force.
strong. Because it's so strong. Imagine if like Earth's gravity was times like 1,000.
Yeah.
It like you'd be
Probably
you'd be crushed. Like you would like go into the center. Like your mass would be forced to the center. And so imagine Earth, but with 10 times the gravity. And because it's 10 times the gravity, you get literally pulled to the center. So you'd be pulled through the floor, and your body would get crushed, and then you just go to the center, and then it would add to the gravity. So that's why in movies you see like black holes will like suck things in. So technically, it's sucking things in so hard to its core, and then it gets stronger. So the more a black hole sucks in, the stronger it gets.
Because the more mass it has, the more gravitational field, and that's why everything goes to the middle. More mass, more gravitation.
It's freaking cool.
And I think that.
And so technically, you can go like in an orbit. So a black hole acts the same thing as a planet. So you can technically be in its orbit. So you can, if you get close enough to a black hole, you can start spinning around the black hole, just like how Earth spins around.
You have to be close enough, but far enough.
Yeah, but
if
not
you get too close, then you
get sucked in. But if you don't,
out, buddy.
What? What? You said out?
Game. I was meant to say like game over or something.
Game out, buddy. Is that what you said?
No, keep going. Keep going with your listening.
Who says that? Game out, buddy.
Shut up.
Game out, buddy. Instead of game over. Game out.
Game out, buddy. It's a thing now.
That's so funny. So yeah, so recently a picture.
I guess,
how is that taken? I don't know how they got that picture.
It was NASA with their So this is supposedly the black hole that's at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. So like this is the one we're revolving around.
We are revolving around. Oh, okay.
So like at the middle of every galaxy, like we're in the Milky Way galaxy, there's a black hole, and that's what's keeping all the solar systems together. But that's crazy how we can't like actually go out and see. And then this picture, like look at how dumb this picture is.
Yeah, it looks so stupid.
It's like they need a better camera than us.
Looks like someone with a Samsung took a picture of it.
Yeah, honestly.
Because Samsung's garbage quality.
No, okay, there's no sponsorship.
Yeah, we don't need them. We need that trash company.
I ordered that Galaxy 10.
Do you know they have the? I don't know if it's Samsung, but it's like a fold.
Oh
like
yeah, I saw it. It's a new Galaxy. I don't know if it's a Galaxy actually, but yeah, it's a new Samsung.
That's cool.
I saw that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
iPhone's gonna copy
the
it.
glass, like how? Yeah, I don't know.
There's a very 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 small divot. Yeah, it doesn't kind of make sense to me. It's kind of like because it's like this. It's like a. If you haven't seen it, it pretty much flips into a iPad, but then then it folds into like a phone, but like a longer phone. It looks weird to me, but I think it would be cool.
So, and you remember how like how did this picture was a black hole? I'll probably put it like right there again.
Are you going to edit
Yes.
it? Are you going to edit it and put a picture right here? Well, I'm being full in. Oh, I'm in the black hole! That was dumb. Keep going.
Yeah, but like, I don't know whose idea was it to come up with the thought of that. This,
with
this
this
is what
theory?
a black, yeah. That's what a black hole looks like.
Dude, I think that all the time.
Yeah.
I think that all the time about like electricity. How does someone see the electricity run through crap? And I guess you can. But maybe that's the same way then. Maybe through like
a huge telescope.
Some sort of telescope or some sort of thermal.
Oh, they have
something to detect.
It was something like thermal. It was some thermal kind of telescope. Yeah. Yeah, so that was the black holes. What are you looking at?
I thought you were going to say something else. I thought you were going to continue.
No, that's it.
Alright, so
that's all I really
I think
thought
we're
about
gonna.
black holes.
So we're just gonna like. So I think when we should talk about random stuff, and then put that in the title. So like, in the title will be black holes, and then next we're gonna talk about like babies, or like. Did you know? Oh, I'm gonna copy this from the H3 podcast. Do you know? Okay, wait. Oh, what is it? Okay, there's some people, I think it was even like Kylie Jenner or whatever, they have a face treatment where they put placenta on their face, and they rub placenta into their face. Do you know what placenta is?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Placenta,
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding. Placenta is a organ that develops in your uterus during pregnancy.
Only women, yeah.
That's disgusting.
I mean, people eat it.
That's also disgusting.
But I heard it has a lot of nutrients and stuff, though.
But that's still gross.
Why?
Because it came out of someone's body. That's like me eating your earwax or your boogers. That's gross.
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
Yeah.
Or like getting your saliva and rubbing it on my face. Because it's something that I know, and maybe like earwax has a lot of protein.
I mean, yeah, no, probably that it has bacteria.
I bet you placebo has bacteria.
You produce it.
You produce earwax. You produce earwax too.
No, earwax. Look, watch. Earwax is a whole bunch of stuff building up in your ears, as well as boogers.
Okay, then sweat then. Oh no. Okay, it's expelling like.
So like,
salts,
there's different things. It's not the same, I guess.
Trying to think of something else. Trying to think of something to prove my point. Hair. Hair is naturally produced.
Hair is dead organisms.
Oh my gosh, stupid Bryan.
Or not organisms, but dead dead cells.
That just sounds gross to me. I just don't think I would want to put placenta that was inside of someone that was used to birth something. Use that like, because what is it? It does.
I mean,
guys, it provides oxygen, and nutrient. Bryan, I'm trying to talk. I don't know what you're saying. The structure provides oxygen and nutrients to your growing baby and removes waste products from your baby's blood. That's disgusting. It removes waste products. So it's the equivalent of like poop.
I mean, people use avocados too.
That's a plant.
Okay, but it's an organism still.
It's an organism, yeah, but like it wasn't from like a woman's uterus.
Vagina.
Let's
be real.
That's what uterus for. I'm using the technical term.
They don't need technical terms. They need hip terms. Am I right? Am I right?
Vagina. But I just think that's really gross.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Because some people, okay, it says, why would you eat placenta? Although the placenta is revered in many cultures, there's scarce evidence that any customarily eat placenta after the newborn's birth. So not a lot of people do it, apparently. People think it will increase breast milk.
Why you
boost energy. That said regulate homelessness. Dude, we could solve homelessness by eating placenta.
Oh, did you hear like that cancer was supposedly like people are right?
Oh, I heard about that. It's like making a vaccination.
Yeah.
Regulating hormones, not homelessness. Helps with pain relief, reduce insomnia, and the risk of postpartum depression. PPD.
So I guess it helps, right?
Well, that's according to Wikipedia, dog. So, I mean, I can change Wikipedia right now and say it makes you grow wings. And
I mean,
oh, this is a picture of a goat eating placenta.
Right, yeah. I would not put that right here.
So yeah, that's what you're eating.
I'm not gonna put that right here.
That's what you're
exactly
eating.
right here. I'm not gonna put that right here.
Bryan, do you want to eat that? You want to rub that on your face?
I'm not saying I am, but like,
I just think
I'm not saying it's like completely disgusting.
But I mean, I guess we do gross things.
Because people, that's true.
Everyone does gross things, I guess. But so I mean, maybe I probably can get used to it. But I just think it's gross thinking about it at surface level.
And it's just like when people do like sexual stuff, you know? You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
You know what I'm talking about?
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
People do sexual stuff? Sex? Okay.
Oral sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, I guess in 2017, for cancer and stuff, are we talking about that?
Sure.
This global action plan and like development project found the increase. Oh wait. Action on cancer. I don't know what they're saying honestly, so let me just back out.
Let me just back it up.
Oh yeah, did you know what's it called? Oh yeah, let's talk about haunted places.
But where?
Haunted places.
Haunted places?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you know Raging Waters was haunted?
Really?
The one that's like
near us?
there?
The closest one to us?
Yeah. I think that's is there more Raging Waters?
I don't know. I'm sure there's I don't know actually.
Or it's like that one. Do you know? Is there more Six Flags?
I don't know. Is there more Knott's Berry Farms? I don't know. Maybe.
Cause I don't know. I haven't
There's
seen
more
one.
Disneylands. But that's Disneyland though.
And there's only 2, right? Like in here and then Florida.
No, there's like Disneyland France and Disneyland. Like,
oh, yeah.
Different ones like that.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, people have said that.
There's only one Knott's Berry Farm.
Really?
So I'm assuming there's only one of the other ones as well.
That's weird. How do we have all of them?
Because we're freaking Californians, dude.
But there's like, I feel like there's more.
We're superior than all other
parks,
countries.
Though. I feel like there's
all
better
states.
Better amusement parks though. Named different. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like Six Flags is better than Knott's. So on.
Six Flags is better than Knott's. Oh yeah, but at Raging Waters, I guess people, like, workers, they've said that phones. Ring
I'm gonna stop you. Sorry, 21 Six Flags. It's 21.
21 Six Flags?
Yeah.
Throughout the U.S.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot, actually.
I've never heard of any other Six Flags though.
Yeah,
honestly.
All right, sorry. Keep going.
Oh yeah, people at Raging Water says that they've heard the like phones ring throughout the night, but like I don't think that. No, wait. Hold on. It gets.
Oh my gosh.
It gets.
Phone
Shut up.
ring oh my gosh.
Shut up. Okay. They say it's mostly coming from Wave Cove, right? And then security guards have heard footsteps from Wave Cove, and then they've heard a girl asking for help, coming from Wave Cove, like the waves.
Oh really?
Yeah. And so, and they say, like, professionals or whatever said that these hauntings are
professionals. What makes
Alright,
someone,
shut up.
what makes someone a professional?
They said that
we'll go back to that.
The hauntings are said to be from a young girl who actually drowned in Wave Cove. So like maybe it's actually true, but yeah. And then other like, this says like that other people like have actually heard it too. and stuff. And like that's wave code, wave is where they
this
do
is the wave pool.
Wave pool, basically, yeah. But yeah.
How does what makes someone an expert, like in hauntings? You can go to college, study. You can't be
psychic. What makes a psychic a professional psychic? Is there psychic school?
I don't think they're professionals. I don't believe psychics. I think some things psychics say, but not. I think a lot of them are doing.
Have you ever gone to a psychic?
No.
We should do that.
No.
We should. Gavin.
I don't want to do that.
Why not?
Because I think it's bullcrap. I think most of them are bullcrap. I think a lot of them, because back in the day.
What about the ones?
Because back in the day, there were, they would like look up things about. This is what I heard. They would like look up. They would look up things about. So like, say you're going and you'd have to make an appointment. So as you're going up, the person would look up. Back in the day, as in now. Okay, I don't know why I said back in the day. Like this is what they do. Okay. They'll like look you up and they'll find you on like social media or something, and they'll look through your posts and look through your comments and they'll look through things about you or anything that's about you. Maybe your job or maybe like where you work or whatever, and they would look you up and do as much research about you already, and then they would when you come in they would ask certain questions and pose it, and the way you respond, they would go, yeah, I'm getting a reading. There's someone close to you passed away. But they would do that from getting an inference from the internet and from asking you questions and getting to know you. So they would kind of like they would prime you, and then you'd be like, oh my gosh, yeah, actually, because typically you'd show signs of like if you were sad or if you were doing things like that, or if your social media was like, I don't know, posting something about, I don't know. You know what I mean?
About like a past family member.
Yeah.
Anything like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or college decisions or stuff like that.
I guess that's true. Like,
there's
a whole bunch of stuff from you on it.
I just think that I just think that a lot of it is just because it's just a pursuit of money, and a pursuit of.
How do they get their actual like shop though? And doesn't the like federal, I don't know, like how, like the cities, how doesn't they take them down for like if it's actually a scam?
Well,
why don't they take them down?
I mean, it wouldn't. It's a business, so it's not like, I don't think it would be classified as a scam. So like.
So we should go to one.
They wouldn't be like. I don't know what would.
So we should go to one.
I don't know, Bryan.
Honestly, how expensive are they?
I don't know.
If it's like less than $20, we'll go.
No, because I don't like them either. Because I think.
You think they're like, what?
I don't know.
What do you think? No, tell me. What do you think about them?
I don't know. I just think.
What do you think about them?
I just think it's dumb.
The thing is dumb.
Okay, I think it's dumb. Okay, well that, and then also.
What do you think it tells about their character?
I think they're crazy.
Okay.
Typically.
And that's why you don't want to like go talk to them or what?
Okay, I just think. What if they use some sort of, I'm Christian, so I believe that like demons are real, and I believe stuff like that. So my thought is, what if they do use, and that's why I keep saying some. That's why I keep saying some, because I know a few that were kind of busted. Like there was a show. There's a show called Nathan For You. It's a really funny show. It's a Comedy Central show, and he goes to a psychic, and so what he does, the show's all about him, like, getting, helping failing businesses. So it's kind of like one of those shows where the failing, like a failing kitchen or something, and then like Gordon Ramsay will come and like scream at them and curse them out and throw away all their food and tell them it's crap, and then would fix it in the end. This one's like he goes to a business that's failing, and he gives them a solution, but it's funny though. It's like a comedy. So he kind of like screws them over in a way, which is it's kind of jacked up, but it's really funny. So like in this one, he says he goes to help a fortune teller, and she And his solution was for her to send a broadcast out and go like, Angelina, if you're listening, come to me. I had a vision about you. And so then Angelina's all in the area would call and go, oh my gosh, like you talked to me, like what the heck? And she goes, yeah, I've been expecting you, whatever. And then whatever, blah blah. Then at the end of the episode, he interviewed some of the people, and they're like, yeah, she knew nothing about me. This is bullcrap. Like this is a hoax. Like this is all this stuff. So I think a lot of people like that, but at the same time, I think that demons do have an effect on this world, and not necessarily. And not demons like you see, like red horns and I'm gonna pitchfork you, I think they're legit beings that have an effect on the world. And like I said, not like The Conjuring where it's gonna enter you and your head's gonna turn and you're gonna crawl on the walls.
Yeah.
But affecting things in this world. So I think that it's possible to kind of come in contact with like not come in contact with demons, but kind of use demonic type things to get answers or to receive answers. And what I mean by demonic type things, that doesn't necessarily mean a Ouija board specifically. That could be like a person, a psychic praying and going, spirits, tell me what this means, or tell me what. And not necessarily spirits. I think demons, like if they receive an answer, that could be like demons going, here you go, or a demon going, hey, here you go, and that's my same thing about ghosts and stuff. I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in demons. Like I don't think when people die, I don't think they have any sort of connection to this world again. They can't walk around, or they can't be, in between, or they can't be, you know what I mean. I think it's demons. So I think when people see ghosts, I don't know if I believe all of it, but I do believe that, like I said, that demons have an effect, and that could be some sort of thing that a demon is revealing or showing. So when I hear hauntings, I think demons. I don't think ghosts. I think if you die,
all demons, or do you think some maybe angels or whatever? Do you think so? Like obviously you believe in God.
Yeah.
Do you think anything else spiritual-wise is a demon, other than Jesus?
Well, I believe in angels too, and I don't really know the effect of those, like the day-to-day, how they affect my day-to-day life. I do know they're real, and I do know that they have the ability to. And the same thing with angels. But I don't think they're in my life constantly going boom, 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 boom. So I don't think an angel is like, oh, I'm going to help you here. Boom. Yeah. But I do believe that they have an effect, and I think that angels obey the will of God and obey what God wants. So if God is like, do this, I think it'll happen. So like tarot cards, because that's something that I think those are real. I think those are demonic inspired. Like I think that's demonically inspired because the way. Let me look up how to do tarot cards.
Well, like basically give an insight to what they are.
Yeah.
Do you know?
No.
Do you want to give it?
I don't know. I do know that they're not.
So hauntings.
Okay, so I'll read you how to use tarot cards.
Okay. Well,
wait, keep talking though. What were you gonna say? I have to find it. Oh, I found it. Okay, just kidding. So one, you have to open your tarot box. So tarot cards are like little cards that have little inscriptions on them, or whatever. And then they use a kind of like a chance type thing, and they'll shuffle the cards, and then they'll be like choose like 3 cards or whatever. And then you choose the cards, and then based off the cards you chose, and then they'll like shuffle up more or whatever, and they'll have you choose more. And based off the ones that you choose, then they're like, oh, your future is like this, or your future is like that. So you have to open the box. You have to hold your cards in the hand, take a few deep breaths, and ask spirits to guide you. And then it says in quotes, or whomever you believe is out there trying to communicate on your behalf.
So
to be with you during this reading, ask for Ask your guides for a clear message that will be most beneficial to your destiny path.
So it's like Ouija boards.
Yeah. But Ouija board is directed towards the dead. So this is kind of referring to the spirits or whatever you think you're trying to talk to.
Yeah.
Which I think that's blindly trying to go. I think that's blindly reaching your hands out and going like, guide me, you know.
This or the Ouija board.
This, and the person that can, or the thing that can take your hand figuratively could be a demon. So I that's why I'm like I don't want to mess with that stuff because I think it does have power. I think from the outside view it can seem silly and stuff like that, but because I do believe in these things, you know, I do think that they have a possibility of happening, you know.
You want to go into that? The beliefs, your beliefs, Christian beliefs.
Sure. You go first, because I've been talking for like a long time.
What do you mean I go first? You want me to say what I believe?
Do you want to?
I mean, I'll say what I believe in. So like, based off of just general beliefs. I believe that people believe like that. I don't know if I've told you this, but
yeah.
I believe that people. I think I have, but that people believe certain stuff. So like religion, hauntings, ghosts, or whatever. I think they believe in whatever they believe in because of their past experiences.
Oh yeah.
I tell you that. So yeah, like I don't just. I've already told you this, but people like. I don't think anything is true. Like actually true. Like I don't know if that makes sense, but so because there's no way to actually prove something that you believe in. So like, there's ways of getting people to like to persuade people into believing what you believe in, right? But there's not there. I mean, I guess in some cases there are ways to prove it, like actually here on Earth or whatever. But like I was talking to my aunt the other day, and because she's a Christian, she was a Catholic, but now she's a Christian because she started getting into it, right? She's like researching stuff and all that, and so yeah, she turned into a Christian now, but like I still respect. I'm not saying like I hate any people beliefs. I still respect them, but I feel like something with her that happened personally to her that allowed her to switch those beliefs, you know?
Do you mean like something personal that happened to her?
Maybe, no, like...
You think that there is something that happened to her? I'm asking, is there a definitive thing that you know? Like,
no.
Dad died or something?
No. Just something. Yeah. Well, she's kind of told me, like, the stuff that's happened to her, and she's even told me herself, like, oh, I can't explain it, it's just stuff that happens. She says stuff that happens, but... So I'm assuming that something happened to her that made her switch. So, but because I was asking her like, "Oh, can you prove this to me?" and stuff, and like, how would you prove that to an atheist? Because it was something Christian wise, and but yeah, I was telling her like, how would you prove that here on Earth, like through stuff that we can see and feel and touch or whatever, that's true. And then she was like, "Oh, it's just something that like you have to believe." Like, she didn't say you have to believe, but she was like, "Oh, it's something that you just."
Like put faith in or something.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And she says, she says sometimes it's like that because like you can't, because even you told me that, that sometimes there's stuff that we're not meant to like understand, like yet.
What I said was some things we don't have the capability of fathoming.
Okay, yeah.
So understanding.
Yeah.
Like something that's so big, that's so much bigger than us. Weren't able to fathom, like infinity, like the infinity, like and the fact that there's like a possibly infinite amount of stars.
You don't know.
We can't fathom. We can't fathom in our brain what that number looks like because that's beyond our human comprehension.
I get you.
Or even like what a soul is made out of, like what physical matter or what is a soul, and so that's something that we can't fathom. That you can't dissect. You can't observe with a thermal nuclear telescope. Like those are some things that are like beyond our comprehension. You know. What were you saying? Sorry, keep going.
No, let me just search something up. But yeah, she was basically saying something like that. Like that you just like there's some stuff that we aren't capable of understanding. Was her words, but I guess fathom.
Yeah, I get you. Okay.
Yeah, but also she showed me this video that she said was part of her like in the. I'm not gonna show you the video right now, but I could probably show it to you later. But also in the video they were saying like, what do you think about that?
The Virgin Mary?
Yeah, like that. Cause you know how people have those.
Yeah, the pictures.
Those pictures and stuff.
Specifically, this picture.
Well, that's the picture that pretty much everyone has. Or okay, no, I'm not gonna say every Catholic has in their house basically.
Well,
I'll put that picture
what do you
like right here.
Bryan, doing a lot of editing, Bryan.
Right here.
Put it over me.
I'm gonna put it. I'm moving it. I'm moving it.
It's
right here. I'm doing so much editing.
Bryan, it's not gonna be fun. That's why when you did the first one, I was like, Bryan, you know you're gonna have to go through and then find the exact picture we're talking about and use it. Like,
okay,
that's not fun.
I have the picture right here. I can just save it. Okay. I'll probably just end up putting it nowhere.
Just not even doing it.
Nah.
Stupid.
Just me. Okay.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I think of it? I need more clarity of what you mean. Like, what was my emotion when I say it?
Okay.
What do you mean? Like, do I want to cry? Do I want to slap? Do I want to punch Virgin Mary?
I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna put it right there. No, but yeah, because my aunt said, or in the video she showed me also, it was a video of a guy who was a Satanist basically, and he would like talk to the demons. He would talk to the devil, and like and that guy like basically he turned into a Christian, basically, and then but one thing that separates from like Christians from Catholics, my aunt was telling me was like
the Virgin Mary.
Pictures of her.
Insane.
Or just her actually, yeah. And then also just like statues, which they're saying like another word for it.
Idols.
Idols, there you go. Yeah. They're saying they're idols. Everything was an idol and stuff. So like
I can explain to you.
Yeah.
I'll explain to you. So basically the main difference is we think that you can only like talking to someone so a lot of people so this is where I get a little fuzzy and I don't want to say something to offend someone or else or anything like that. But I think when someone dies, I don't think you can talk to them. So sometimes they'll do that, you know. They'll be like, "Oh, I'll talk to my you know, whatever."
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible.
And you kind of said that already earlier.
Yeah, I don't think you can just talk to someone who's dead because I don't think there's that connection, you know. And I think that the reason why you can talk to God when you pray, you talk to Jesus, is because He is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omni something else.
And what does that mean?
So omnipresent means He's everywhere at once, you know. So He doesn't abide by like being physical. When Jesus came, because He's a part of the Trinity. When Jesus came, He was physical. He was like us. But God is, you know, everywhere at once. So he's. It's not like God is in Asia right now and He's like, all right, everyone's good here. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna go over to South America. You know, like He's not. He's everywhere at once. You know, He's able to everywhere. Omnipotent. I think I might be saying that wrong. It might not be omnipotent, but I think omnipotent means all powerful. So because He created the earth, He's able to manipulate anything He wants to. You know, so when people are like, "Oh, miracles that Jesus did, those are impossible because no one can walk on water, no one can turn, you know, water into wine. You know, no one can do that." Well, I think that if you believe in the fact that God created everything, that He created the earth, you know, physics, He created all that stuff, you know, that He's able to control what He wants to, you know, so He's able to do whatever because He's like the max amount maybe our brains can get to. That was because God put that there. that God crafted our brains to be able to be cognitive and understand things and figure things out. God put that there. It's like creating a little robot, and the robot's slowly starting to figure things out. And it's like, okay, I think I understand things. It's like, but if we're the creator, so we already know everything about the robot. The robot starts making a little house. I'm the one that, or the creator is the one that put, that stuff into them. So anyway, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Onto that. It's pretty much he is all knowing, he's all powerful,
okay,
and he's everywhere.
That's what.
So because of that, when we talk, when we pray, God can hear that. God has deity. He's God.
Mm-hmm.
So he can hear us, and he knows our thoughts. He knows what we say, and he knows when what we're saying or what we're thinking is towards him.
Mm.
I don't think the Virgin Mary or the Apostle Paul or any of the disciples have that ability. So when people pray to saints, so I don't think any of the saints.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone except for Jesus and God. And the Holy Spirit, because that's the Trinity. So when people pray to the Virgin Mary, it's kind of, and something that God said, like one of the commandments is, don't have any other idols, before me. And so, like.
Wait, touch my laptop.
Because it was dying. So it was dying, dog. I was trying to turn it on, bro.
Let it die if it wants to.
I was trying to help you.
I won't be able to talk to it if it dies, but like, still, just let it die.
You won't be able to pray to it.
Keep going.
So that's a huge difference. So when you pray to things that are not God, that's in a way it's sinning, because it's praying to something that doesn't have power, doesn't have,
and that's because
doesn't have
in
any
the
sort of
commandment.
Yeah. So one of the commandments. I think it's the first one. I don't remember the order.
I remember.
So it's right here. So.
Only gods but me.
So don't have any other gods but me. Don't make any idol for yourself. Don't bow down and worship to it. So worship. Let's look up the definition of worship. The worship is a feeling of expression or reverence and adoration for a deity. So when you worship something that's not God, that's giving it power. That's giving it. It's not giving it power. It's not like you're
treating it as a deity, basically.
Exactly, like God. So in the Christian belief, it's that if you're praying to someone that's not God, you're giving it the title of God in your brain, which God is saying, no, I'm God. Mm-hmm. Things you pray to, that's not what God is. So in the same way, so that's a huge thing. And another thing too that Christians do not do is confession. So we think confession's a good thing, confession, but we don't think that there's an ordinary or there's a systematic way of confession. Like you don't need to go to a priest and go every month, or I don't really know if it's every month or when it is. I'm trying to help you, Bryan. It's bugging me if it gets dim. Okay. Can you turn it off?
Yeah, I turned the touch
did you really?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So for confession, it's not a like you don't need so I think it's the Catholic faith. I may be incorrect, so
go for it.
Keep that in mind. From what I believe, it's you need to go to a priest. I think monthly or weekly. Maybe I don't think it's weekly. I think it's monthly. You go into a confession box and tell him confess your sins to that priest. But it's in the Christian faith that you confess your sins to God. You acknowledge the things that you've done, and you go to God and you go, God, I realize that I do these things because I'm imperfect and I'm sorry. But I know that since you love me and you died for me on a cross, you allow me to be in your presence. You allow me to be washed clean. So there's not. So I think a few things that in the Catholic faith is that kind of relies a lot on human things, or even systematic, or even works, where it's like you need to be a good person in order for God to love you, or you need to be a good person to get to heaven. I don't think that's true at all, because I'm not a good person. You know, like none of us are a good person in the eyes of God. You know, and that may sound like, oh, that's horrible. Why? Like God must be a mean guy, you know, because he's sending us to hell because we're not perfect. Well, God goes, you chose to be that. You chose to be like this. You know, I gave you the ability to either be for me or be against me. And you choose to be against me. You allowed sin into your life, you know, and God says, like, because I'm perfect, I can't have my perfection be corrupted by imperfection, you know. But instead of going, well, screw you guys, you're just going to go to hell. You know, he said, but I love you. I want to be with you. I want you to be with me. I'm going to send my son, Jesus, to come and die, so he's going to take all that punishment, you know, because he's perfect. And so you may think, like, well, why does God need to go through all these measures? Like, why can't he just go, you're forgiven, and then let people in? Well, it's because he's also, oh, that was another omni. It was like omni something. And it's like, it means he's all justice. He's perfect. You know, so if you have a court of law, and someone did something against the law, you know, and so according to God, against his law, you're guilty. You know, so if you do something that's against the law, you're found guilty unless there's something that takes its place. So what Jesus pretty much, what God pretty much did was he sent Jesus and said, someone needs to take the punishment for this. Someone needs to take the punishment for the sin you've done. But I'm willing to take that punishment. I'm willing to put myself into human form and take that punishment for you. And so the way he took that punishment was when he was on the cross, he was beaten, he was whipped, he was ripped apart, and he died. And at the same time too, so that was physical punishment and then also mental punishment. Jesus and God were completely connected, you know, mentally. And Jesus would pray too. He would pray to God. He would do all these things. And when he was on the cross, and so Jesus is perfect, so he's without sin, so he didn't do any bad things, you know. But when he was on the cross, because he was taking the punishment, God had to look away. God had to turn his head. He lost that connection with God because he was taking all that sin, and God can't be with something that has sin in it, you know. And so you know that famous line, where, God, why have you forsaken me? Yeah. That's when that's Jesus yelling that. He said on the cross, he said, why have you forsaken me? He's like, why have you left me? And he's saying that because Jesus was bearing the sin. You know, so not only physically he had to suffer mentally of going, my Father, you know. But that's Good Friday. That's tomorrow, actually. It's funny we're talking about that. But and then on Easter he rose again from the dead to show, I have power over death. You know, so in his constant thing is sin. These bad things about you, it leads to death. You know, ultimately leads to death. So if you look at like things like stealing, murdering, you know, lying, you can look to it and say it leads to death. You know, so if I lie to you about how I feel about you, like say I don't like you or something, and I keep lying to you about it, it can lead to the death of our friendship, or it can lead to death in the way of me just keep lying till it gets to the point where I'm like, I yell at you and I leave you, and you're like, why? We don't have any problem, you know. But that's because I was lying to you. You know, it's because I was lying about you know, our connection, you know. And the same thing with all that other stuff. So,
but then why doesn't God send us to hell since we're all bad?
Because Jesus took the punishment for us, and he said, if you believe,
so we're good.
No, if you believe and trust in him. So this is pretty much what it's like. So it's like, this is how I think of it sometimes. It's kind of like we've fallen down and we're on the floor, and this floor is like bad, you know. So we're in this badness. God is reaching his hand out and going, you can grab my hand if you want to. I'm not going to force you to. I'm not going to force you to grab my hand.
And that hand is believing in him.
Yeah, believing and trusting in him.
Okay.
So if you believe if you believe with your mouth and confess with your heart that Jesus is Lord, and going, Jesus is God, and what that means is saying, Jesus is God, I believe in him, and I love him, and I have a relationship with him. You go with God, you know? And the people who don't do that, those aren't his children. Well, technically we're all God's children because he's made us, but they won't enter heaven, which it's hard to think about, because it's hard to think about, like, why believe in something that sends, why believe in God if he sends, you know, people to hell and it's eternal suffering, you know? But my way of thinking of it is, God gives us a way to not go there. You know, God gives us a way to not go there. And the way to do that is to love him and accept the gifts that he's given us, you know? And that's the thing too, it's a free gift. Like a lot of the Jews at the time, kind of thought, like, God is only for us, you know, because God chose the people, and it was Jews, and that's the story of, you know, the Old Testament and going through their lives, you know, and Jesus, they were saying he was the King of the Jews, so he was the one that God was, and all throughout the Old Testament, it's like God promising, like, hey, you guys are messed up, and so the Old Testament would just be constant, like God going, this is my standards, and then the Jews going, oh, let me try to reach it, fall flat.
I get
you know, oh, let me try to reach it, fall flat, over and over again. And throughout the Old Testament is God going, there's one day where it's going to be different. One day there's going to be someone to come, you know. And it would always be people that, like, certain people would think, like, oh, King David, that's the one that God sent. Nope, fell flat, messed up. Oh, King Solomon, oh, he's there, he's the one that God, nope, fell flat. And then, even John the Baptist, oh, he's the one, nope, fell flat. Jesus is the one that they sent to be the one that's perfect, you know. So yeah, that's what I believe. I think it's truth, and I think the difference.
So after all that,
I'm sorry. That's why I was like, I want to talk about this because I've been
going back
a long
to
time. One more thing too, real quick.
Yeah.
I respect, like, what you believe, but I think that I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
My knees touching. I got big old knees. I think that I respect what you. I hear what you say, but I do think that Jesus is the only way. You know, I think that he says, like, I'm the way, the truth, and the life.
And
because I thought you were gonna touch my toes, and I was like, get your feet away from my toes, man. I don't want you to tickle my toes. I'm not a toe guy.
Would you ever suck on some toes?
No, I would not. It's disgusting.
Would you ever suck
No!
on some toes? Hey, look, Gavin, look at me. Would you ever eat some placenta?
No, I'm not touching placenta. It's disgusting.
You're not touching it?
No!
You're gonna eventually touch it with your fingers. You're eventually gonna make a baby.
Okay. Is placenta... Never mind.
Yeah, let's just... No, but...
Is placenta in... We'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
When the camera's done, we'll ask some questions.
Actually?
We'll throw some questions. No.
We're gonna talk about this another episode.
No,
yeah.
Cliffhanger.
We're gonna talk about... No, but...
the placenta cliffhanger.
Get it? Placenta. Okay.
Stop!
Okay.
What the you...
Okay, stop.
Like...
Stop!
Okay. So back to Jesus. I think it's like he's the way, the truth, and the life. So I think that, like I said, like I love other religions, and I love other things, and I love those people. I don't love the religion, I love the people. Mm-hmm. So I think often people go, oh, well, you're Christian, you hate me because you think I'm going to go to hell. Mm-hmm. I don't hate you. I don't. But I do think that this is a dire thing that is true. Not accepting that dire thing can have a dire consequence. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like the whole message of Jesus is like, well, you got to show love. You can't tell someone something mm-hmm. out of hatred or out of anger. You know, you have to do it with love.
Because that's basically the sin. Hating someone.
Yeah.
So. But you said you think so. Jesus is the way. like to go basically. It's the way to go.
The way, the truth, and the life. Yeah.
Now, so what do you think about what I think? So, because hearing you say that still goes back to my belief of thinking like, oh, maybe that's just something. Maybe you can't name it right now or like ever or whatever.
Something that's happened to my life.
Yeah,
in my life. Yeah.
That has led you to believe that. Because, just like for the people to know, you're studying to become a pastor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, you're studying to become a pastor. So obviously you're gonna think that like Jesus is the truth, like the way. What did you say?
The way, the truth, and the life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. I'm not gonna remember that.
That's
So
okay.
I'm just
It's okay.
Yeah. So, but then I think so. Like, yeah, I just think something happened between sometime from right now to your childhood. That don't touch my.
I want to turn it on, man. When it turns off, I go
You know
nuts. No, don't turn mine off. I don't care if you touch mine. You can touch mine all you want. Okay, now with your tongue.
No, but yeah. So, what do you think about that? What do you think about me thinking that? Do you think that's valid, or what do you think?
So I think,
Because I know you think that, studying, like, since you're studying to become a pastor, you think that pretty much everyone should think that God is the way,
the way, the truth, and the life.
Yeah.
I think that everyone has the choice to. So, and I think that's the right choice. And I think if they choose not to, then I think that hell is the destination for them. Which is, like I said, and I'm not like, oh yeah, screw you, go to hell.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like, you don't believe in what I believe, go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying
you respect it.
I'm saying that if they, yeah, that's what I do. I'm saying if that's not, I'm saying that if that is not, if they don't, believe in him,
Mm-hmm.
they don't follow him, I think that's the consequence, which is scary, So if I'm talking to someone who's an atheist, my thought is like, I know this thing that's going to happen,
Okay.
To you,
Mm-hmm.
And because I love you, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to go there. I don't want you to suffer like that. And some people may think like, oh, well, heaven is a place where it's all gold and all nice and peachy, and that's why I want to go there, and there's no sadness. And hell is, oh, this horrible place that is, you're getting tortured, and da-da-da. The main things that define heaven and hell is heaven is a place where God resides, and hell is not. Hell is the opposite of God.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's along with God,
Mm-hmm.
there's joy and love and happiness and visuals that Paul described heaven to be like is golden streets and things like that. Because there's one person in the Bible that entered heaven and saw it because Jesus showed him, and that wasn't dead. Was I think it was Paul. Might have been Peter. So pretty much heaven is the place where God resides, and that's ultimately where our happiness comes from. That's where true happiness and true, that stuff comes from. And there's no pain and there's no sin there ultimately. And sin, like I said, sin leads to death. It's perfect there,
Okay.
And hell is the opposite of that,
Because God
is not
God
there.
isn't there.
Yeah, and that's complete suffering, and that's where the horribleness is. It's that is the opposite of where God is, and God is The main things that define heaven and hell is heaven is a place where God resides, and hell is not. Hell is the opposite of God.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's along with God,
Mm-hmm.
there's joy and love and happiness and visuals that Paul described heaven to be like is golden streets and things like that. Because there's one person in the Bible that entered heaven and saw it because Jesus showed him, and that wasn't dead. Was I think it was Paul. Might have been Peter. So pretty much heaven is the place where God resides, and that's ultimately where our happiness comes from. That's where true happiness and true, that stuff comes from. And there's no pain and there's no sin there ultimately. And sin, like I said, sin leads to death. It's perfect there, you know. And hell is the opposite of that, you know,
because God
is not
God
there.
isn't there.
Yeah, and that's complete suffering, you know, and that's where the horribleness is. That is the opposite of where God is, and God is, you know, true joy and true happiness and true love, you know.
And then, so you said.
So your thought. I think you're thinking very logically, and thinking like A plus B equals C.
Okay.
So like, oh, if this happened to you, then you must believe this, and this will happen to you. I think we're all very different, but we're all very similar at the same time. So we all are very unique in who we are, but at the same time we all have basic fundamental things that we struggle with or go through. So whether that's a loss of a family member, or depression, or you know, suicidal thoughts, or
etc.
or anger, or greed, you know, different things that we go through. Like I said, we're all different, but fundamentally, at a human core level, we struggle with those things, you know. So if you look at my life, my situation, you can probably look at someone else and have that same situation. But ultimately, I think it comes down to our free will. So I have the choice to do this. You know, I have this full choice to go, I'm not going to do this.
Believe in God.
I'm not going to believe in this. Yeah, I have the full choice to go, I don't believe in this. I don't think it's true. I'm going to walk away. But at the same time, I also have the choice to go, I believe in this. I'm going to follow this. And so I think according to that, because I think I may be wrong and I may be overly assuming what you're saying, but like, oh, A plus B equals C. So if my house burns down, or if a family member passes away, and you go through this sadness or something, you know, then this could be a result of your life, you know, or just getting closer. Did you catch me? I was like, just kidding, I wasn't doing that, Bryan. You know, but I think you can find those common things everywhere, you know, and not the same outcome. Does that make sense? But and at the same time too. So this is what I think your thinking comes from. Because like, say if I was born in India, I probably would be Hindu, because that's the prominent religion there.
Well,
would you say that?
No.
No. So if I was born in India, what do you think?
I can't, because that's kind of like stereotyping to me.
Okay.
I can't say anything about, like, I can't assume someone is gonna grow up believing in something, right?
Yeah.
But because what I'm saying is that just something specific happened with their lives that no.
It's gonna move positions again.
No.
Moved it over.
No,
Ding dong,
down,
dude.
more down. It was standing on its own, remember?
Oh yeah. Oh, you right. There we go.
Move more back though. It was like
right there,
where the cup is at. Back.
Go back.
Yeah.
Hey, good.
I think it's just laying down because you're sitting on the bed.
Oh my gosh. Ouch! It's done a thing.
It's
Oh, Bryan, that's terrible. Good. Oh. That's good enough.
Yeah,
we'll wrap it up anyways. Yeah. We're almost.
Wait.
We're already over an hour.
Yeah, we are, honestly. But yeah, that's good.
Oh, please don't break. Don't break. All right.
Yes, wait, is it recording?
Yeah.
Esta vez para siempre.
Stop Spanishing at me. All right. Adios. Anyways, so wrap up what I was saying, because I jibber jabber a lot. So if you watch these videos, you're gonna see me jibber jabber. I think we can both jibber jabber. A lot. So back to what I was saying. I don't know what that was. What was this? What was this part?
Don't worry about it, dog.
Okay.
Keep going.
So pretty much, Paul, I don't know if it was a vision or if it was like Paul actually going to Jesus and seeing him. But pretty much it was Jesus showing Paul heaven, and Paul was like, it was later in his life, and Jesus was like, look, this is heaven. He was showing all this stuff. So, so that's how I know like Paul knew it was Jesus, because he talked to him verbally, you know, sort of thing. So that's what I was trying to say.
So basically,
yeah,
we could go a lot more about like stuff that like I want to challenge your Christian beliefs on or whatever, but then so this was kind of basically like me asking you why these Catholic beliefs aren't true or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like basically just that.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I still think that people believe in stuff just because of something that happened personally to them, like an experience or whatever.
Would you say those experiences, that's a bad thing?
No.
No? Would you say that, because I think, I'm fine with that, see? Look how I'm not crazy. See, look how calm I am. I'm fine with that, man.
You should meditate. We should meditate an
an
episode, just us
an hour of just us not talking and breathing.
We're breathing. Okay. No, but yeah.
You just.
No, what were you gonna ask me?
Sometimes you get.
What were you gonna ask me?
Sometimes you're like you have moments of being on crack, and you just go like have outbursts of something that's like I don't know. It's like okay.
Maybe I did do crack. We had a pee-pee break, so maybe I just
did crack in my bathroom?
Did a little cracky in my little pee-pee.
A cracky in the pee-pee?
Cracky in the pee-pee. Cracky in the pee-pee. Okay.
No.
What were you gonna ask?
I was gonna ask,
I think it's bad. And then
do you think it's like do you think that it devalues what it is if they believe on it based off experience? Do you think it goes? Do you think it believing that it's based off experience? Do you believe that that belief is not true then, because you only believe in it because of the things you went through?
I think I can't say. I think no one can say that it's true and it's not.
Do you think there's one truth though?
No. Well, okay.
So you believe in multiple truths?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds so stupid. Okay. Yeah, I do think there's one truth. Either.
So you think like that? Like, I'm sorry, I keep interrupting.
No,
I apologize. But like, do you think that's like Mormon belief, Buddhist, Hindu, Jewish, Christian, all those different beliefs? Do you think that like out of everything on the table, one of those is true? Or atheists? No. Do you think one of those are true?
I can't say one of those is true. I can't say.
Do you think that one of them is true though?
No.
Oh no. So you think more than one can be true?
No. So look, I think that especially now, since all that stuff supposedly happened so long time ago. And I'm saying supposedly because I think that we can't actually tell if it did happen or not. Anything. So, and then because it could have all those beliefs, like even my Catholic beliefs, it could have been passed down from generation to generations, and they could have been altered. So maybe, and then because supposedly it all started with one belief, right? Mm-hmm. We're gonna be ending like the podcast soon.
Yeah.
But so this is just like my real quick belief. So supposedly everything started with one belief, right? And it extended out to all these different religions and stuff. And so I think there's one truth, but I think that truth.
I want to pause real quick. Look how crooked it is. It looks really bad.
They don't care.
Okay.
Then we're gonna end it anyways. But yeah, so I think there's still one truth, but maybe some of those truths went into the Catholic beliefs. Some of those truths went into the Jewish beliefs. I know there's a lot of stuff that contradict each other in each belief, but maybe they made that belief up based on that certain religion, right? Because throughout, probably, I'm not saying this for sure, but throughout every religion, there's probably at least one thing that each one believes is true. So maybe there's one thing in like the Buddhist and the Catholic, at least one thing that is true. Maybe there's one in the Buddhist and the Christian that at least one thing is true.
So give me like an example of what you mean.
I can't.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay, so like in the Catholic and the Christian belief, we do think there's one God.
Oh.
That's true, but then we have stuff that we disagree on, like the idols, or like the Virgin Mary. We think that they're like up there too, in the Catholic beliefs. But then the Christian beliefs don't. The Christian beliefs think that there's only that God and that's it.
Yeah, we think they're important, but not important enough. You don't
they're not on that level, basically.
A deity.
But and then Romans also think there's like Zeus, or
they don't believe in, well,
okay, I'm not gonna say for sure, but
it's called mythology.
Yeah, but okay, so they like that. I know in that beliefs, whatever it may be called, Zeus is the head of the god, right?
Well,
the head of
technically
the gods.
He's the top god.
Yeah. So just like you said that, okay, well, he's the top power. Let's say he's like the top power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like how you said that you do think Virgin Mary's there. You do think these other, what we think gods are there. You also think they're there, but you think that Jesus is the head of every, like, is like is a deity basically. Mm-hmm. So, in other words, it's on a different power. And then with the Zeus and stuff, Zeus is on a different power than all these other gods do. Zeus is the highest ranking.
Set apart.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to say.
And then
I don't know because I don't know really mythology
Yeah.
enough to be able to definitively say Zeus is above, in that belief that Zeus is higher than other things.
But then so I think there's still stuff in every religion, because in the Buddhist religion it may also, I'm not sure for sure, but it may also say like you can't kill, and then in our religion it says in the 10 Commandments you can't kill or don't kill or whatever. So that in that way I think there's at least one thing in each religion, in two religions, at least one thing that they can agree on. Oh,
definitely.
There's
certain ideology in each one. Like it's like, well, like the Hindu or the Buddhist belief is very peaceful. Is a very peaceful belief, and Christians can agree with certain things that they say, but ultimately, when it comes down to it, the thing that sets and same thing with because Catholics and Christians believe in the same Bible.
Yeah.
We just think that that Catholics aren't doing it correctly. They're, like praying to creating idols. And in the Bible it says like, this is true. This is the truth. Like there's gonna be a lot of other things that say they're true, but this is the truth.
Yeah.
And it's saying that that this is the only. Like I said, this is the truth. Like this is not so there's no other way it can be but this, because this is what it is.
And I'm saying that maybe that stems out from one guy, or not one guy, or maybe like from one generation that stemmed out from the actual truth. And this
kind of like a telephone type thing. Like the game telephone when you say the words. And
so like maybe this truth was going down, right? And once that happened, that one Christian main head of the person or whatever, they were like, no, we're the only truth. And then that's where it went on the tangent, and that's when it went this and then this way and this way. And they kept saying, no, we're the truth, no, we're the truth, no, we're the truth. And that's where it all stemmed out. And I think that's why I say that there's, especially right now, there's no actual truth based off of people, because people say that there's only this truth, and I say no, that maybe that some stuff you say is true, maybe, because I don't even know for sure. I don't even know for sure if that's actually the truth. So maybe Buddhists can actually be true too, but like there's no way for us to know. There's evidences, but like written evidences.
Wouldn't evidence prove something correct though?
Yeah, but there's written evidences, not personal evidences.
Well, that's impossible though, because when who founded Buddha, when Buddha was alive. There's no way you can ask Buddha what, his ideals, or there's no way you can ask Paul to tell you about Christianity. There's no way, no way you can tell John Smith to tell you about Mormonism. I don't think that's necessarily like, because I understand what you're saying, but that's kind of like impossible. It's impossible to do.
I know, I know it's impossible.
Why don't you think that like written things are true? Or can't be a valid thing to prove something?
All right, let me answer that question with another question. Why don't you think Buddhist texts can be true?
Because I think there's things that are false about it.
Why are they false?
Inside the text, because
because it goes against the Christian text? Or?
No. I think you need to. I think when you believe in something, you need to be able to prove that is correct. Mm-hmm. So look through it and find that it is without error. I think the Bible is without error. I think things like the Book of Mormon, or I don't think there's technically a book for Buddhism. I may be incorrect, but I think it's just ideals, or not ideals. What am I saying? Methods? No, like just practices.
Cultural religion,
no, like practices. I don't know. I'll use the Book of Mormon, for example, because I know more about the Book of Mormon than I do about Buddhism.
Okay.
So like the Book of Mormon, I think the text, it contradicts itself in the text, and then things like the Quran. The Quran. I think so. Like I'll say the Quran, the Book of Mormon, and the Bible. I think the Bible is without error. There's nothing wrong in it. In the Book of Mormon, I don't think the Bible's been changed. I think it's holds the same as it did 2,000 years ago when it was written. Well, at least the New Testament, and the other thousands of years that the Old Testament was written. I think they're the same words, they're the same thing as today. The Book of Mormon, there's different things like, and I'm not bashing on other religions, and I'm not doing that, but I'm saying something that I have found. But John Smith, when he came, pretty much the belief is that many Mormons will say, oh, we also believe in the Bible too. But if you believe in the Bible and you believe in the Book of Mormon, then you don't believe in the Bible. Because the Book of Mormon contradicts the Bible and goes against it, and also goes against things in its own text. So something, so huge monumental things it says are true when the Bible says they're not true. And you'd have to change that text. So one contradictory thing is, originally John Smith, he was a white guy who came to America, and it said that he was under a tree and he fell asleep, and then he had a vision of an angel, and the angel said, go to I'm sorry, no, he wasn't on a tree. I think he was like on a boat or something. He was going to America, and he had a vision of an angel saying, go to this tree in America, dig under the tree, and you'll find a second commandments. You'll find more text about the Bible. So he did this, and so the story goes, he dug and he found more text. So it's pretty much like extra Bible. Like it's like the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Book of Mormon. Like they're all three coincide. That's what it says. But in that time, slavery was fine. Slavery was okay. Slavery was like, black people were less, and so So in the Book of Mormon originally, it said black people couldn't go to heaven because they were lesser. And it said things about that. But then eventually later, going through the Mormon Church, eventually it was kind of like when civil rights and things like that. It was like, oh, we can't do that, because they originally didn't allow black people to go to Mormon churches, and then it was like, oh, this is not right. So they changed it, and so the Book of Mormon was changed, and so now everyone can go to heaven. So something like that, and then something like in the Quran. I'm not going to speak in the Quran because I don't want to talk about the Quran because I don't know enough about the Quran.
Okay.
So I don't want to say something out of ignorance. But I do have something, but I don't want to say it because I think that's. I don't want to speak out of my butt because I don't want to say something I don't know. So.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I wasn't saying that that I didn't believe all texts were false, because there are some texts that like you can see. I'm just saying that there's just those writings that's like that have more spiritual and more belief, something that's not like physical, basically.
What do you mean by that?
Just something that's not physical. Like, you can't see it here on Earth right now. That you can't.
Maybe.
Something that you can't see on Earth right now. But yeah, that's all I was saying.
Yeah, I get you.
So
there's something interesting that opened my eyes to, because I've thought the same thing. Like, why believe in something that's 2,000 years old that must be wrong or must be need to be adjusted to nowadays? Because lots of different things are different than 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's true. I think that's it's very not true. So something that I went to someone and to ask questions, and I said pretty much, how do I know this is true? Like, how do I know this is true? How do I know this hasn't just been changed over the years? And like, how do I know this? And I don't remember what they said, but they said, "Well, do you believe in this history book?" I was like, "Yeah, I think it happened." They're like, "Well, what's the difference?" And I'm like, "Well, that was more recent." I'm like, "Well, do you believe this like philosophy book?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think those are true." I'm like, "Well, it's even older." I'm like, "Oh." So I was like, "Well, how do we know that the Bible wasn't just changed over time because it was a lot older?" And they're like, "Well, I think it was the Odyssey." No, the Odyssey is a fictional book. What I can't think. I'm trying to think of a. It was a historic. There's a few historic books that we're taught and we know about.
So then going back to
And
what I was saying.
sorry, I'm almost done. There's certain things that we believe and we can make agreement on. Like, oh yeah, that's true. That happened. But there's only 2 copies of that. There's one copy of it. Of that text. With the Bible, there's 30,000 copies of the text. Because it's translated differently in each language, so there's huge amounts of textual evidence, to prove that's true. Does that make sense? So what were you saying?
So like how you were saying that you thought that too, that how can we know like it wasn't changed or whatever? That was your personal experience that led you to believe that wasn't true.
Yeah.
Based off of like you were asking people, right?
Yeah.
So how do you expect people to like think the same as you if they hadn't gone through that belief or they hadn't gone through that experience?
Yeah, I think that people need to seek answers to important questions. So an important question would be, why do I exist? Why am I alive? Why does everything work really perfectly? Like why do trees produce produce oxygen and I produce carbon dioxide and we feed off each other?
Yeah.
Why?
So then that goes back to figuring out stuff personally, like having those personal experiences of figuring that stuff out.
Seeking those, yeah, and I think some people don't. And that goes back to choice. It's your choice to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's why like that sort of stuff is really important.
So and then that's why I wanted to like kind of use this podcast to kind of see what other people think. And
Yeah.
And how I was saying there's this one truth, and it kind of stemmed out to all these different beliefs. That's kind of why I wanted to like get people on here to like or whatever, just talk to people to see what they believe in, see the common ground.
Yeah.
Figure out that one truth.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool too. Yeah. So we talked about like having. Well, I think when we get to a point, I think we'll get more controversial stuff, even more controversial stuff.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about in the car, and having maybe one of us disagrees with it, and that person's really strong for it, but maybe. So.
Yeah.
You know,
Also,
you know who I'm talking about. This person's scary. He's like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I disagree with you.
But like, I want to have that.
Yeah.
I want to fight with people.
Yeah, fight. You want to fight with people?
Yeah.
I don't think it's fight. I think it's
Why not?
talk with people.
Not fight.
No, I don't think fight.
Why not?
Because then there's no common ground.
But then we get views.
Oh shoot, you're right. Angry person fights.
Boxing match.
Fights.
Logan Paul versus KSI.
A buff Mexican man fights this person while white skinny man watches.
That was so awkward.
That was awkward.
But yeah, and
that's ultimately our
people.
goal. That's ultimately our goal with this thing. It's to just gain knowledge, to gain understanding, to gain what you think, what I think, what other people think, what why we think.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. But also I want to have just people on, just to have fun too.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Dude, we should have an outro.
We already have our outro.
Oh yeah. Well, should I get the phone or should it be?
Okay,
now
yeah, start. Okay, so that was our podcast, episode number 2, talking about kind of
black holes.
Not really. We just kind of went
We kind of covered.
We went from like black holes to like basically
ghosts.
Black
holes.
Ghosts. It was like science, ghosts, then it like spirits, I guess, and then
yeah. You're right.
And then
ghosts, spirits, fortune tellers.
And then we went to
and
religion,
then spiritual stuff,
religion, etc.
Yes.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and then that was our podcast.
Okay, so do the thing.